Lu Mingfei has traveled far overseas from his hometown in China. He is trying to find the CC line as the Gras-well-Isma told him to do, but no one can help him at all. He asked the man there, but he recognized him as a beggar and didn't tell him where the CC line is. He next decided to go as well as eat something, but he got a similar reaction in the burger shop as they told him that beggars are not allowed. Suddenly, two beggars approached them, but he asked them to piss them off and told them that he is not a beggar and has money. As soon as he did that, someone from behind asked him to give him some money if he had any. The guy introduced himself as Finger von Frings and told him that he was an avid reader. He was making some excuse to get some money, but then he saw the black card of the college in his wallet as well. He told him now they are technically brothers, as he showed him his black card from the college. He used this excuse of being a brother to take the money bill from his hassock as well as buy coke from it as they sat in the waiting room. He told Mingfei that the CC route is hidden and the train comes at irregular times as the school is hidden somewhere in the mountains. If a student's ranking is high enough, they come and pick up the student, but if he has a low rank, then they leave it to them alone. As both of them slept while waiting for the train to come, Mingfei was woken up by the voice of some bells. He saw a lot of men in robes running towards a castle. Then he woke up, but Finger von wasn't there. He just saw a small kid who did some forecasts. He woke up again in real life, this time as Finger told him that the train was here. The train conductor was shocked to see that Lu Mingfei was there. He told them that Lu is a S-rank student, the same rank as the principal, as well as the teacher who was about to come to receive him, couldn't come. As soon as he swiped his card, all the lights turned on, and they moved to the station by the CC route. As soon as the train came, the professor jumped at Mingfei and checked on him. Both of them sat inside, and the professor asked him to sign the papers. He revealed after that what they study in this college is not normal, but dragons. The war between humans and dragons has continued for ages and is still going on. Mingfei was not going to believe him, but suddenly the same boy whom he met in the waiting room appeared, told him the exact story of the human dragons, and welcomed him to the Dragon Empire. After this encounter with the boy, Mingfei lost consciousness and woke up again on the sofa. As he did not believe in dragons, the professor brought him some highly confidential evidence of the existence of dragons from the ice cell. The first one was the scale of the dragon. The professor asked him to shoot the scale with a gun, and as he did, he was a bit shocked to see that nothing happened to the scale. He made the excuse that it might be artificial. The next piece of evidence was the offspring of a dragon kid, which was found in the Indian jungle and preserved. The moment he came close to it, the dragon kid woke up, but fortunately, he couldn't get out. The professor threatened him that if he tried to leave, he would be brainwashed, and he wouldn't find a college either. As he left, he told him that the world he knows is like a rice grain, as well as welcoming him to the new world. Mingfei as well as the professor started moving forward as he told them that, according to research, a lot of dragons are sleeping all over China. While walking, he also mentioned that the students have the job of killing these dragon rajas when Mingfei asked him why there were no students in front of them. As soon as he said that the teacher remembered that today was the event, students started appearing from all the places with guns and ammunition, and they started fighting with each other. As the injured students started falling too, one of the bullets hit the professor as well, and he lay on the ground as well. Mingfei was confused as well as terrified to see all this. He stood behind a pillar while others were fighting. After some time, everyone was lying on the ground, and only the dictator and Murasame were left to fight. He started watching their fierce fight when suddenly a beautiful girl came down just in front of him. She instantly pointed the gun at his head and then asked him to go down to kill the soldier behind him, but it was already too late, and he got shot right in front of her. He was devastated to see this as all of his, as it unlocked some previous memories from his past. He instantly stood up and killed the girl behind her, as well as both the leaders who were fighting by himself. Suddenly a lot of people entered the place. One teacher came there as well, and then Ming Luo realized that it was just an event as the teacher kept on getting angry for the so much expense of the school management. Then he realized that no one died and that it was just a fake. The teacher, in anger, called the principal to complain about it, but the principal told them that the expense would be taken from the management expense. The principal even praised him for being able to kill two of the main students at the school on his first appearance. On the other side, the principal was talking with another man and told him to remember the case that happened 8 years ago, and how the whole army was defeated at once. He further told the man that the one they are is a prodigy who will become the leader, lead a whole army, and even terrify the dragon rajas themselves. Mingfei entered the room as well and was really impressed to see the same. But when he got to know that the same finger big brother was going to be his roommate, He was a bit disappointed too. Then he took Ming-Fei around the school and also taught him about Yaglin and its powers. As he ran through the path of the huge magic whale, he saw a beautiful tree that was alive as well as half dead. Finger told him that the tree is the world tree, and the legend says that the Black Dragon Emperor was defeated by him. Suddenly, the teacher confronted him and asked if he knew about the magic. He then gave him his student ID and asked him to take the test. He told him that he has to give the Dragon Peak test, which would help the college decide the rank he is supposed to get. The teacher told him that the music box had recorded the voice of the Dragon Emperor, but as he heard the voice of the Dragon King, there was no effect, and he just told the professor that he was feeling sleepy. Once the teacher left, he was a bit conscious after the test, as he thought that he wouldn't be able to pass the test. Will the teacher send him back to his world after brainwashing him? Finger suggested he cheat the system if he wanted to avoid going back to his world. The news that he was not able to resonate with the Imperial Yonglin spread fast all over the college, and every single member of the college started doubting. While the professor was confused by the outcome of the dragon language test, he came up with a different result and wondered if he was from the bloodline of the White Dragon Emperor. He was afraid that if this is proven, he won't be treated humanely as well as a research specimen. A mysterious man confronted the defense system of the college, as well as asking her to pass the test. Ming-Fei was a bit late as he entered as well as sat on the seat. Everyone else was making a lot of noise as the table was empty, but Ming as well as the girl with blonde hair just beside him were silent. Ming knew that the question paper would be empty, and he just had to write the signs on the paper given by Finger. He wrote the signs and got happy when suddenly the illusion started coming and he started seeing things. He saw the same old child, and everyone else around him was gone. The boy introduced himself as Lu Ming's and started telling him different things. They kept on shifting places, and Ming-Fei kept seeing weird things and telling him that this was just a dream and all of this was from his mind only. The boy told him that Ming-Fei is not sad because he is sad instead of him. Suddenly, the examiner woke him up and told him that he slept for the whole 2 hours out of 3. Finger told him later that he passed the test as well as that he has taken up Akmical Mechanical Design, which is taught by Professor Mance. Finger further told him that Professor Mance is not taking his classes as he is on a secret mission about the remains of the ancient dragon, as well as how the last time they went there, a lot of scary things happened, and they were also confronted by a terrifying snake. They somehow endured that and were able to reach an entry gate. The scout team leader told the principal and took his permission to use the key. The key was a direct descendant of the Black Dragon King. He took the kid as well, and then he dived into the water to the gate they found. He came closer to the gate and showed the baby to the gate, and as the baby came closer to the gatekeeper and touched him, the gatekeeper started reacting to it. While the professor returned to the ship, the other 2 of them entered the gates. Both of them split up in front of the huge bronze pillar, which seemed like a non-humane creation to them. The girl stopped in front of the pillar. As she started taking pictures of the pillar, she heard the language of the dragon and started seeing visions. The girl tried to collect the bronze statue, but as soon as she moved it, the whole area got activated. They had no choice but to run, but the boy collected an egg from the place to research it. They understood that they had restarted the city because the city had understood that there were invaders in it. Meanwhile, Lu Mingfei woke up late at night when he heard the ringing bells. He saw the same little boy who comes to him in his dreams as he was sitting outside looking at the scenery. He told him about the game as well as the cheat codes. Before he could know more, suddenly Finger woke him up and told him to go as there was an emergency. Everyone sat in a huge hall with a lot of computers, and his computer was in the form of a game as it was more accessible to him. Their job last was to translate the dragon language as well as save the 2 people who were stuck in the dragon city. With only 20 minutes left, he was a bit shocked as well as ashamed when he saw that everyone was working hard to accept him. Then he remembered the little boy's advice about his map being more detailed. He tried to focus on his own game as well as write Black Sheep Wall. As soon as he wrote that the online system said that we should give it a try, all the systems blacked out. Everyone was shocked when they learned that it worked. The baby key told them the exact route by which they can get back to the ship with the limited amount of oxygen left. The girl realized that probably they don't have much time left. She thought that this is the last moment when she will be able to confess her feelings to him. She was about to confess it all to him. But he even said that they may make it out of the city. Everyone was waiting for them to come out of the water including Ming-Fei, when suddenly his friend from far abroad called him and asked to check on him. He told him about the situation and how he is probably going to lose 2 members. His friend tried to console him as well as calm him down. The girl suddenly came out of the water. She gave the professor the egg, but before she could do anything else she got sucked back into the water. He got really sad as he wanted to take revenge on the dragon. He instantly boarded the ships and then attacked the dragon with all they could. They were somehow able to get past the dragon, even though 3 lives were lost in the attack. Everyone in the college rejoiced when they learned that the mission had been a success. The principal came in front of everyone and personally thanked Lu Mingfei for having such a huge participation in the same. Once they left the place, Chu Zhang, the president of the Lionheart Society, thanked him and even told him that he should join his society to become the next president. He had to humbly deny the offer, in answer to which he said that the other president would also ask him to join. Suddenly the bells started ringing and doves started flying. The president told him that it was a sign that someone from the college had left them forever. The injured professor was really angry and even guilty that in front of him, 2 of his students as well as an intern who was working with him lost their lives. The professor, before dying, requested the principal make a promise that he wouldn't be telling the kids about this loss, as they should not be the ones to grieve about their teacher's death, but instead become good dragon slayers too. He also asked him to tell the children that he didn't die, but that in his place he had gone on another mission. Mingfei got called by Caesar from the Amber Pavilion to the ceremony for the welcome dance. Mingfei asked him who Caesar was. Finger told him Caesar Gattuso comes from a hybrid family and is rich for his family because of their spread over the business in the world. He told him that everyone has huge expectations from him and that he will be the huge emperor of the dark, secret world. At first, he didn't mean to go to the party, but when Finger told him that the buffet was there, she also told him that he could rent formal attire from the drama club. Caesar made a path of roses for the red-haired girl. After they entered the huge ballroom, the man told them that the dance was about to begin. But before that, the president would give a speech. He wished the red-haired girl Eno a happy birthday, and then the dance commenced. Ming was against dancing, but Finger forced him to dance. As they were dancing, Caesar stood out and stopped the music. He told everyone about how there is a huge battle between people, and only the ones with proper qualifications get to battle. This time when the dance began, the new blonde girl, whom he always saw silently, approached him and asked him to dance, as she kept on instructing him about how to dance. After the dance was over, she left, and he also saw that Nano was also leaving. He left the hall behind her and approached Nano, who was already in her car. She told him that her birthday is just her business, and she even told him to drive as she was already tired. On the other side, some men from Aljime College attacked the college. They broke in through the college defense and put everyone in the college on alert. The officials compelled everyone in both the Society of Caesar as well as others to fight off the intruders. Mingfei in the car told suddenly the little boy from his vision appeared there instead of Nanu. He told him that he knows that he likes Nano as well as that he wants to confess to her. Mingfei told him that she is already dating Caesar, but the bot told him that in reality, she hasn't loved anyone yet. He stopped the car somewhere on the cliff as he told her that the car had stopped. She told him to get out of the car. 6 of all the intruders were able to get caught. The intruders were still calm. They were just waiting for the Yonglin field to go down. The officials played right into his hands as they asked the father to put the shield down and even told him that the students needed some experience to be able to fight in a battle. The father finally agreed to their request and broke the crystal that was keeping them from using Yonglin in the area of the college. Both Mingfei and Nano came down from the car and sat near the pond with their legs dipped in the water as they looked out towards the sky as well as the beautiful scenery. Nano told him about stories that were written in ancient books, as well as how there is an eye in the China Sea from where the fireflies come out. On the other side, the officials informed all the students that the night watchman had lifted the Yonglin barrier, and that they should be able to use it now. Even though everyone in the college was trying to keep the entrances safe, the official used his Void Snake Yonglin skill to find the intruders. The 13th intruder was different. He had a map, as the employer told him to enter through the wine cellar. He jumped inside through a chimney and then came across a huge gate. Suddenly, the employer called him and told him to use the black card on the gate to enter inside. Caesar was waiting down in the huge hall, and as he activated his Yonglin, he was able to see all the intruders who were entering him. He called the other society president and asked if he wanted to place a bet, but he denied it. The automatic system asked everyone in the library to evacuate the library except Chu Jiheng, as they may get trapped in the crossfire. Then the intruders entered the hall, and as they were about to start conversing, she had to pick up a call. As he patiently waited for the call to end, the lady introduced herself. She was the sister of the girl who lost her life in the previous quest. Caesar instantly used his Yonglin and was putting up a great fight against her. The Deadpan girl came inside the library to fight with Chu Ziheng. Chu Zhang used his super rare as well as dangerous skill, Royal Blaze, which just shocked everyone. Meanwhile, when the 13th intruder reached the room of the online defense system of the college, he told him that he was going to go through the secret route underwater to the secret vault. What he saw inside the vault when he opened it completely shocked him. Nano told him that even though it seems like it, Caesar doesn't mean any harm to him, and that blonde-haired girl is an admirer of his. As he got a bit shy to hear such a thing from her mouth, he got really shy. She mentioned that if he gets shy like this in front of a rank girl, then how will he ever be able to live up to his status as an S-ranker? In the heat of the moment, she suddenly turned towards him, who also recommended that she immediately join the student council. This left Ming Fei speechless as he looked at Nano. As she was inviting him, he remembered how the little boy had already warned him that the girl would hit on her. He tried his best to stay calm as well as act as if he were not affected, but he couldn't resist her. Nano told him when he tried to complain that she was about to save him from the embarrassment of the first dance, but she was stopped by Caesar as he told her that no one can be saved from the first dance. He told her that she wouldn't be the only one to help, as he would also help her. She told him that the only gift that matters to her is the one from that one person, and every year she waits for it. As she was saying all this and looking at the sky, Ming Fei used the spell he was told by that boy, and as soon as he said that, fireworks started appearing from everywhere. Nano was astonished to see all this when suddenly her name appeared in the sky, wishing her a happy birthday. This completely melted her in as well as out as she bowed down to thank God for this beautiful gift with tears in her eyes. Ming Fei could remember some old scenes from his life as he accepted her invitation and told her that he would become her little brother. On the other side, the 13th intruder got sucked into the gate as well as appeared in another room where there was a shark, but the shark ran away. As he moved forward, he reached a huge hall where the principal as well as a few other people were there. They celebrated being able to recover the bronze egg, but as there were some cracks, they left it to recover. The intruder took some pictures and left. Another man came who was the same as the one who made Ming pass the C4 test as well as crack open the dragon egg. Caesar was still fighting with the group of intruders. The opponent had a specialty in speed, with the help of which she was able to avoid Caesar from being able to predict her exact location. Eventually, he came to such a situation that he was surrounded in all directions by swords. In such a moment of heat, he was trying his best to keep his concentration. She attacked him from all directions, and at the final moment, he was able to find her exact position of her. She asked how he was able to find her location, to which he replied that she failed to stop her heartbeat. Hence he found her. Suddenly something came, which stopped the fight. As they ran away, Caesar saw a huge hole in a human on the wall, and wondered how he was not able to sense any heartbeat even though he was using his skill then. On their side, both Nano and Ming Fei were around the car as the car started working. Nano started getting messages on her phone as they were on the way back to the college. She told Ming Fei that the school was under attack but also mentioned that everything will be fine as there are many high-class people, and by the time they reach the college back, things must have already settled. On the other side, Chu Ziheng is having a ferocious fight with his opponent, and she can fight easily on his terms. The 13th intruder runs towards the exit on his bike, dodging everyone. As he was just about to leave the place, suddenly Ming Fei enters the college in his car and crashes into him. He instantly got down from the car and held the lying intruder. As he asked him if he was fine, he was shocked to see that it was someone he knew. It was old Tang, an old friend of Ming Fei. He told Ming Fei that he was here to do some work and was about to go as soon as his work was done. But now there were loads of men behind him. They instantly had an idea in his mind as he made him sit in the car and acted as if they were being held hostage to let him get out of the college. Suddenly they felt a strong heat wave from behind. As they looked behind them, they were really scared. They didn't think much as they rushed the car forward without seeing behind them even once. Not even the officials were able to understand who the boy was or why the fire was burning. They tried every kind of bullet, but it was still not working. In the end, they finally decided to use the grenades, which didn't work either. The officials realized that it must be some form of the dragon. As they were thinking about all this, the dragon released a huge flame bomb. Everyone has stopped fighting now that they realize that the main problem is the dragon. A woman told them in the call that the child is not at all in control of his powers, and the moment its body melts down, the breakdown will end up as a dragon meltdown of the King of Bronze as well as fire. Something made Finger, Tang, and Ming realize that the dragon was probably coming behind them. They decided to move towards the swimming pool to avoid the heat. Caesar realized that the friggin' bullets were working against it as he started shooting them toward it. Everyone in the army started doing the same, and the dragon started following. As Ming dipped himself in water, he was sent to a different world. At first, he thought it was the world of the small boy. He started roaming around in the hope of finding the boy, but suddenly he was encountered by some other being in the bath. He was shocked to see that the dragon girl everyone was fighting outside was right in front of him. She told him that he looked familiar to her. The boy came closer to him as well as started smelling him. At first, he was really confused, but then Ming's eyes fell on the pyramid visible from there, and he instantly realized that it was the city of bronze as well as that the boy was a dragon kid. Suddenly Lu Ming's came from behind and kicked the kid in the chest. As both of them were about to run, he was back at his place in the water. Once he came out of the swimming pool, the place was filled with mist. The principal suddenly came there and asked him to follow. He took Ming to a very high tower of the college and gave him a bullet. He told him that it is no ordinary bullet, but it is made from the Philosopher's Stone and is the only one that properly works against the Dragon Kings. He also gave him a sniper and told him to shoot the dragon when he got the chance, as he is the only one who is immune to time zero. On the other side, the Dragon Kid started recognizing as well as coming closer to Brother Tang. The principal finally came and told him and everyone else that they did good work. He read some spells as well as was able to slow time. At the same moment, Ming used the bullet and the dragon lost the ability to control metals. The principal ordered everyone to start using the live bullets as the dragon shielded Brother Tang, who would get hit elsewhere. As the dragon was losing his life, Tang ran away, crying and wondering why it was calling him brother. As Tang was running, he could somehow remember different things from the past. He was reliving all his memories with the little boy. At the cliff of the mountain, he finally remembered it all and grew his fire wings. On the other side, the principal told the other old man that he had grown tired of both himself and his life as a dragon slayer when the old man blamed him for waking up Dragon Norton. The principal told him that he has seen potential in Lu Mingfei and thought that he will become a sword against the dragons. He told the old man the right way to kill a dragon king and also told him that he had awakened the dragon Norton to infuriate him enough to give up his life. The next morning, when Ming was talking to Finger, he told him that he had joined the student union, and as he was saying that someone knocked on the door, it was a man from the union only. The man gave him his student union card and told him to be at the meeting in 1 hour. Cecil, on the other side, was having a meeting with the principal. The principal gave him the chance to choose the people for the expedition to the Bronze Temple next. He also told him to make sure that he takes Lu Mingfei, as he believed that Ming could help. In the meeting, Caesar told Ming that he needed to go on the mission to the Bronze City in the next few months, and that he also needed to start his training today. Caesar told him that he was chosen as the best, and other than him, the blonde girl he danced with in Nano will also be taking part in it. Ming was still not able to understand why he was being chosen to be a part of such an important mission where there was also a death threat. He also told everyone that he had no intention to give up his life, that he was just in this college because he was getting a scholarship, and that he didn't intend to be a dragon slayer or anything. As soon as he said that Caesar invaded him, he told him that he was disappointed to hear this, and he straight up told him that he was not at all expecting something like this, and if this is the truth, then he should just leave the college as well as the student union. Ming was about to make the decision as well as was going to hand over his card. But suddenly Nano came and safeguarded him and told him that she would always be saving her brother like that, which made Ming stay in the college. From the very next hour on, he had to start his training with various other talented and good people from the union. He learned boxing and diving, as well as worked on his athletic skills until he was ready to go on the quest. He had a very emotional talk with Finger as he also gave him his student card, which had an allowance of 100,000 yen that he could use after his heart as well as after he left. They all reached the main ship in the water near the Bronze City. The professor told them that they are commissioners for now and are the best. Now it was time to choose who would be the first pair to dive. Ming was trying his best not to go, but he kept on being forced by everyone. Nano told him that she was on her period while the other blonde girl he was paired with was trying her best to get her to go. Finally, even after a lot of resistance, he had no option but to dive into the water as his sister, Nano, accompanied him. Then he went deeper into the wall to the statue, like a human face in there. Ming tried to give the human the blood he needed, but instead of just taking the blood, it took his whole body in. He somehow pulled his hair out, as Nano helped him in pulling it out. This shocked and scared him, and he tried to run away, but Nano caught him. Next, they were sucked into the gate as they reached a new room inside the city. Nano removed her mask as she asked Norma if the air was okay, to which she replied that it hadn't been exchanged in hundreds of years. Everyone was a bit shocked to know that they were able to breathe inside the city, as from what they could remember, the last time the expedition team came, the air was polluted. The professor on the ship told them that this is a sign of the return of the owner of the city, and as soon as the owner is back, the water purification system as well as the air purification system started. As Ming listened to him, he got really scared and started making various excuses. They started moving forward and came across many statues. It all looked like it was a temple. He even tasted the water as it was really clean. The professor asked him to drop the dye he gave him in the water as well as start following it, as the dye would take him to the Dragon King. They started following the trail until they reached a dead end. They looked forward and were astonished to see a huge statue of the king in front of them. Nano cleared that it is not what he is thinking, as well as that the king won't stay with his worshippers as she pushed him into the water. They went inside the water as she believed that the gate to go forward must be inside the water only. They were really scared to see a mountain of skulls with burn marks deep inside the water. Nano as well as the professor collectively told them that it must be from the time when the temple was still in the air that someone must have come with an army to fight against the dragons, as well as being utterly destroyed by the Dragon King. Suddenly Nano got an idea. She asked Ming to remove his Baswell usage from his finger and told him to touch the ground. As soon as he did that, a huge vortex got created in the water and they were taken to a different world, unknown to the others. The place was really beautiful. With some kind of small hut, they wondered if this was the place of the Dragon King. Nano entered inside and started inspecting the place as she sat down and started feeling the things that had happened there before. They found a small oil lamp inside that was burning, but they thought that it must have a gas pipeline. She used her skill and told me that 2 brothers used to live there, as well as some other details. On the other side, everyone on the ship was really scared as they wondered why no connection had been made yet. Nano picked up the lamp and was shocked to see that the lamp had no connection. They ran back to the vortex, but the moment they returned to the water, they realized that the city was self-destroying. They then chose the same route as Iki did to get out, but they got stuck in one place. Ming started shouting the cheat code the little boy gave him to contact his finger as well as asking for the map. The professor's head started hurting for some reason. It was because of Ming. Ming was using the professor's mind to connect to the finger in the college. The finger was trying his best to do something as well as find the right location and map of the City of Bronze. He told everyone that he wouldn't be able to get the map until he got access to the maps, as he is just an F-rank person unable to search much. Suddenly he got access to the S-rank privileges, which did let him find the maps. The blonde girl told Caesar that the water has gotten 15 degrees warmer, which is a sign of the presence of the Dragon King. Caesar took charge of the ship, as he also saw that the professor was being overpowered due to the use of both his Shanglin as well as the communication with his finger. He told everyone in the crew that he was assuming the comm as well as ordering different people to different places. Before he could say anything about Torpedo Bay, it was sneaked in by the dragon, which destroyed the bay and even killed the second officer in it. Caesar realized that his sonar was not working on the dragon. They started running from the dragon as it started chasing them. The blonde girl informed everyone that the real Dragon King was not behind them but up on the cliff. Norton was looking at all this from afar. Suddenly he came down as well as stood up in the water. As the dragon came close to him, he took control of it as well as submerged himself in it. On the other side, Finger is Commas as well as Ming and Nano to get out of the place as they swim through various allies. As both of them were dodging as well as hurrying towards the gate, they came across a skeleton wearing the school's clothes and having a briefcase in his hand. They assumed that the case must be important and took it with them. They suddenly realized that the slate was falling on them and that they didn't have much time left. They wondered if this was the right way. As they reached the end, they found the gate. He tried to open it, but the blood stopped coming out. Nano strangled using all her guts as well as her powers to stop the slate while he was trying to cut his finger. As he looked at his sister getting a heart attack, he couldn't stop himself, so he just removed the oxygen cover in water and cut his finger. As they came out of the water, Nano gave him an oxygen mask from her tank and told him that he had half the oxygen now. Suddenly, the president of the Loinhard Academy came through in a helicopter. Nano told him that she was better at swimming, etc. than him. Hence, she gave him her swimsuit and started again to get out of the place. She even put the bomb inside, which started destroying the whole thing as they got out. On the other side, everyone on the ship was trying to understand what to do and how to survive the Dragon King. They decided to use the torpedo with the speed of the ship on the huge dragon fused to Norton, which would injure him. But he was really confused as they realized that it was obvious that he would be able to avoid it. The blonde girl suggested to him that they should be at least 100 meters away from the dragon, so it would not be able to avoid it. Caesar came out of the ship, looked right at the dragon, and told him that dinner was ready. Even though the blonde girl told him not to use his ears, he used his kamitachi as well as the sniper on the dragon, but it was easily able to dodge it away. Chu Ziheng came above the dragon and used his royal blaze. The royal blaze, being so powerful, took the dragon a bit of time to defend against while he got blinded by its brightness. Caesar used calm as well to trigger the torpedo manually, which was done by the blonde girl. The torpedo hit the Dragon King Norton, who tried to endure the shot but wasn't able to as he got thrown far away into the ocean. They believed that they had defeated the dragon, and everyone relaxed. The blonde girl came out as well, and both of them started talking in sign language while he asked her if her ears were fine. He further told her that he doesn't need to talk in sign language. When she asked him why he has learned sign language, he further told her that he got his skill from his mother, and before that, Yonglin was with his mother until she couldn't hear anything. They both made their bonds way stronger than they were before. On the other side, Caesar told him that he would dive into the water to save both of them. On the other side, both of them finally saw the shuttle left by the ship, and they started moving toward it. They got really happy to see the respirator as they got close to it. Nono pushed him inside and was about to enter. Suddenly, as she was about to enter, the dragon attacked her from behind and killed her in one blow. Just before dying, she closed the doors of the respirator to save him from the dragon. Mink was shocked to see such a scene right in front of his eyes. He couldn't stop crying, as he could remember all his time with his sister as well as all the things she told him. He remembered how he said that he would also help her. He kept on shouting as he looked at Nono's dead body, saying that she should not die. Suddenly he was transported to Lu Min's dream world. He told him that he needed to do something as well as that he couldn't waste his time here with him, but he had no intention to listen to him. Mins asked him to sit down, tell him his problem, and tell him that he may be able to help him by chance. Ning asked him if, in reality, he was a dragon slayer and would be able to defeat the dragon. Mins told him that this is not a place where he can talk like this and that he has to go deep with his answers. He asked him why, in reality, he chose Castle College, to which he replied that he wanted his parents to acknowledge him. He tried to let Mings realize what he has gone through as well as how it feels when, for a decade, you are never taken seriously for what you say. When you don't add up to anyone's life and no one cares about what you do. He somehow described to her how he felt when Nono came into his life as well as how he felt when he got everyone's attention. He tried to make him understand that it does not matter if she likes him or not, and the feeling he had when she dragged him out and now that he is not able to do anything, leaving him helpless, is just different. He kept on repeating that he is not a loser and that he will keep on fighting until he can defeat the dragon. Mings finally told him that he can help him in this case, as well as do it, but he has some conditions before doing it. He narrated to him the story of the Covenantee as well as the devil. His deal with Ming will be the same. He will do 4 summonses, after which his life will belong to Ming's. Ming decided to take the deal, as he promised himself that he would not use the 4th wish. He told him another cheat code that'll enable him to disconnect the use of Yonglin by the dragon. As he also mentioned that when he says cheat code, it means Yonglin. That is his angling, which he slowly unseals. As they decided on this, Mins pushed him in the water as he returned to the other world. He broke through the respirator from the fangs of the dragon. He then tied her to the rope and the people above pulled her after sealing her injury. He told him that the 7 Yonglin in the box are the 7 deadly sins that were made by Norton to become the Dragon Raja. Ming started using all these weapons against Norton as he also blocked his Yonglin. Lu Mingfei fights the Dragon King and sends him running away. He notices how silent it is down there as well as how lonely it will be for someone to die. Lu Mingfei thinks it will be a better place for the world if he dies. No one would care. Not many, but even if a few do, they will forget it by dinner time. In the end, only Finger will be sad because there will be no one to have supper with him. Lu Mings asks Lu Mingfei if he is sad as well as if he will win his life, for he just has to say desperately. To which Lu Mingfei replies that he doesn't even have a girlfriend who will like him, as well as that he also wants to kill the Dragon King. Lu Mings tells Lu Mingfei that Norton's body is in the dragon's head, which is his weakness. Lu Mingfei uses the dark wind as his eyes to locate the Dragon King, and while he suffers a lot from the pain, he keeps expanding his vision as well as locating the Dragon King. Lu Mingfei looks at Norton's body with the intent to kill and gets a flashback in that second when Norton's body chokes him, leaving him grasping for air. Lu Mings, seeing his brother desperate, helps him kill Norton by moving the sword behind him and asking Lu Mingfei to hold it tightly as well as stab him. Norton's body as well as that of the Dragon King get petrified and lose almost the maximum of their power. Everyone is relieved that Nono wakes up quite well and is not in danger anymore. Everyone applauds. Lu Mingfei surfaces up towards the water and is floating, where he meets Zero and asks her if she needs any help, to which she replies she's okay. Sakatoku, Mai, from the top of the hill, snipes the Dragon King, killing him completely as well as completing her mission. Hilbert Ron congrats Lu Mingfei on scoring out of marks in all of his subjects, to which Lu Mingfei replies that he upholds the promise from his side as well as he needs to uphold it from his side to write a thesis. He even has thought about a topic about it. Hilbert Ron says he can't do it because the topic is not too deep. He also told him that they are all 8 in total, as every throne has a twin sitting with them. The principal, Hilbert, further told him that his brother, the old Tang, was always a dragon, but he didn't have the memory, which he recovered as he saw his brother dying. The principal tried to answer all his questions as much as he could, as well as clear up any doubt that may have stayed in his mind. The principal then gave him a letter from an unknown location, but he was able to easily recognize his mother, who wrote about how proud she was of her son. The principal told him that he was not able to understand who attacked Nano underwater if the dragon was killed by the torpedo, but Mings asked him to shut his mouth as well as not tell him anything. As he returned to his room, he was shocked to see that Caesar and Chu were there as his new neighbors. Suddenly, Nano confronted him and even gave him a chocolate cake on Valentine's Day. He got really happy as he got to know that she still remembered her promise of protecting him as she left back to her room. When he returned to his room, he got a message from Lu Mings, who reminded him that he had used up a quarter of his life. The principal burned a picture of Mings that was drawn on the paper. Why did he know about him? Will Ming Fei now fight the other Dragon Kings? What will happen to his relationship with Nano? What is wrong with Zero? So that is it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. So, like this video for a cookie, and subscribe for lots of cookies.